Welcome back to this week's episode of Monday Mensaje, or Monday Message, our weekly energy forecast. Thanks to those who have come back yet again to see what's going to go on for the week, and thank you to those who are stopping by for the first time. I really hope that you're able to resonate with something that I have to say during this message. So, before I get started, I just want to quickly remind you that my books are temporarily open for tarot and oracle readings. I also use my Claire gifts, channel messages, and things like that. So you can head to theglamspirit.com if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me. Okay, on to the good stuff. The card that represents this week's energy. I am excited. Oh my goodness. It's the Ten of Pentacles. All right. This is a great message. I'm so excited. I've been talking for if you haven't been here with us the last couple of weeks, I have been talking about how I've been feeling this large shift in the energy ever since the astrological new year, which was a couple of weeks ago. And with that shift, I just feel like while we were coming out of the tail end of some really intense emotional and mental exhaustion with all these changes that are going on for so many of us, I feel like now it's almost like I genuinely woke up today with this feeling that it was almost like this weight finally sort of off of my shoulders. And I've been feeling this weight sort of lessen and lessen, like I said, since the beginning of the new year astrologically. And I don't know, there was just this energy in the air this morning when I woke up that just made me feel renewed and excited. And I was like, I feel like the rest of that energetic end of that chapter is really sort of dissipating, and we're ready for the new. And I was kind of talking about that last week with our Ace of Wands message, and this is truly it's beautiful. So let's get into it. As always, after the collective energy reading that I do pull messages from the universe for the signs. So hang tight at the end of the, this little segment if you want to listen to that. All right. So, okay, let me just jump into some of the messages. I normally take notes about the downloads that I received, but today I just felt like winging it. So if I'm a little all over the place, that's why. All right. So first things first, Ten of Pentacles. Head to my Instagram if you're not familiar with the imagery. I am using the Rider-Waite deck. So if you're familiar with that deck, you are familiar with the imagery that I'm talking about. So Ten of Pentacles. When I receive messages using this card, first thing I think of is longevity. I think of a legacy. I think of the long term, right? And in a way, that makes perfect sense, because we talked last week about these new passionate beginnings, whether that's in our personal lives or in our career, creative projects, things like that. And it's like, we've had time, I keep mentioning it, but it's so important, during Pisces season, we had time to dream up these big aspirations and kind of zero in, daydream about what it is that we want in our lives. And Aries season is bringing us this renewed physical energy to actually go after some of the things that we want. And like I said, last week we had the Ace of Wands, which was sort of, again, that fuel, that fire, that torch to carry us through to this next chapter. And so now I feel like what I'm sensing from the energy is thinking a bit long term, right? So we're on this new path. We're on this new, we're riding this new wave is how I feel, right? And I don't know where this wave is leading. And all I know is it's exciting. It's bright. The energy feels beautiful. And so while I feel like some of the things that are going to unfold this week and the next might be quite unexpected, I feel like we need to be in a place to receive, right? Because the universe is delivering us some blessings that maybe are honestly in a way not overdue, because divine right time is in play here, but maybe some blessings that we've been hoping for, and kind of just when is this really going to finally pan out? Well, this week is telling you maybe sooner than you think. That's just the energy I've been getting with this new chapter, this new year is And I've also been pulling like the Eight of Wands, which is like just quick moving energy. And so I feel like one of the first messages that I was getting when I pulled this just a minute ago was thinking about what we want in the long term, because our realities are manifesting around us quite rapidly. And so it's kind of reminding you, like, all those things that you thought maybe were like years in the distance, those things that you were going to achieve, those accomplishments, those ideas that you've been kind of sitting on. I have this feeling that some of these things are going to come into our lives sooner than expected. So one, that's a heads up about that. Two, it's this energy of think about what you want in the long term. What do you want your life to look like at the end of the day? Because while we're excited to go down these new paths, you want to make sure that you're also just like not wasting your time on something that maybe you thought you wanted, and you're realizing like you really want something else. So maybe just take a moment this week to check in with yourself. The things that I'm working towards, are those things that I really want for my long-term end goal of a life? When you think about, how we all have these like daydreams and fantasies, and if you don't, this is a sign for you to start thinking about what this looks like for you. These daydreams and fantasies of like, what will my life be like when I feel like I've reached a certain level of success and happiness? What does that day-to-day life look like? So many of us focus on the things that we want, right? Maybe like the job you want, the title you want, the partnership that you want in your life. But are you thinking about how that looks and feels on the daily? This has like come up so many times in my professional career where I've spoken with others, and this has also happened with myself too, where, this is like one example where you think like you really want this job, and then you find, because you think like, oh, I'm interested in the things that this job has to do with and whatever, but you haven't quite thought about what that daily schedule is going to look like for you. What is that going to be for you? And so many times once we actually learn more about the things that we want, we might find out like, oh, wait, I thought that I wanted it, almost because it's like you want the title of it. You want to have that persona, but is that how you want to live your life on the day-to-day? So this is like a huge sign to check in with that, because like I said, 10 of Pentacles is talking about the long haul. What is going to be there at the end of the day? It's sort of like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's what you are working for, right? And you want to make sure that all of those things are really in alignment with what you want your life to look like on a daily basis. So if you're making some sort of career moves, relationship moves, because, it's 10 of Pentacles energy also comes up with like long-term commitments and things like that. So anything that you're trying to make a long-term commitment towards, make sure that it's in alignment with how you want to live your everyday life. We need to be thinking about like, okay, what is my ideal time to like wake up in the morning? What would my ideal like morning routine be, right? Are you someone that wants to go out to a job every day? Are you someone that wants to like work from home? Are you someone that wants to do the same thing every day? Or do you want to have a different schedule every day? Like if you're someone that gets very like burdened and bored by having the same routine every day, then, make sure that what you're working towards is in alignment with you having that kind of freedom and flexibility. And then on the other hand, if you're someone that needs a little bit more structure in their life to keep them grounded, make sure that you're putting that structure in your life and thinking about what kind of routines that you want to build for yourself that are going to allow you to get to this 10 of Pentacles energy. Right? Like that's going to allow you to continue growing. What do your routines look like? Do you even have one? What are like your practices that keep you sort of like on track? Are you checking in with yourself, how you're doing emotionally? Are you making sure that you're moving your body? And, this is like a little, I don't know, side note, I guess, is that so much of, I feel like what's talked about in the spiritual community is like mental health and emotional health and making sure that we're good on the inside. But I do want to remind you that so much of the clearing the energy out around you and within you comes from physically moving your body. So make sure that you're also working things into your routine that allow you to actually move the stagnant energy within you. If you're feeling stuck and like things aren't sort of progressing as you want them to, while, like I said, divine right time is in play here, meaning that certain things are supposed to work out at a certain pace. So don't get too attached to like timelines and expectations of the speed of certain things, but also make sure that you're moving your body, right? Like make sure that you're physically going to the places of the energy that you want to capture. If you're looking for more abundance in your life, more money in your life, because again, 10 of Pentacles energy, go somewhere where that energy, that like flow of abundance and financial prosperity is physically, right? So if you're looking to go on a fabulous trip, or, you know, like let's say you're looking to go to like a fabulous like Caribbean, I don't know, adventure, right? Something like that. Then go to places that make you feel like that, right? Maybe take like a day trip to the beach or to the ocean or go to the water and feel that feeling of being there. If you're looking to call in more money, more prosperity, more career moves, like that are going to be abundant for you, go somewhere where that energy is alive. Go somewhere where there are, you know, people with financial freedom. And, I think like for me, like, I did that the other day actually to like complete a success, like money ritual that I did. I actually like, the last part of that ritual was me bringing the remains of what I was like throwing out from the ritual to a place where there is financial abundance. And so it's like, you need to make sure that it's not just hoping and wishing in your mind. It's not, you know, spiritual cleansing and mental and emotional health are so important, but make sure you're bringing the physical into it, right? So visit the places that have the energy that you want, hang around the kind of people that you want to bring into your life, things like that. So those are all things that are coming to me. So I'm going to switch gears for a second. And you know, I always share the card on the bottom of the deck because it kind of ties in themes about what the energy is talking about and can offer some more insight into the message for the week. So the card that I have on the bottom of the deck is the Seven of Swords. And so I have to just say this. If you are unfamiliar with tarot and some of like the connotations of the cards, this card I feel like is very, and if you are familiar, then maybe you can relate to what I'm saying. I feel like this card is so misrepresented. I feel it's unfortunate that certain cards have certain connotations with them. Meanwhile, it's really all about what you get at the time that you're pulling it, right? Like so many of my messages, like I can pull the same card in 20 different readings and get completely different energy. While some of the themes of these cards may be the same throughout, the messages are totally different. And also some of the like very old original meanings of these cards are quite different than some of the connotations that they hold today. So the reason that I'm taking a minute to say that is because I feel like the Seven of Swords gets sort of a bad rap, okay? It is this character, and he is holding 5 of these swords in their hands, and there are 2 left stuck in the ground. And so, and I have to say, like, the imagery of the Rider-Waite deck, it's like sort of a smug look on their face, sort of a little bit of that like sneaky, like tiptoeing energy. This character is literally in this deck drawn as like sort of tiptoeing away with these 5 swords and leaving 2 behind. And so I feel like so many people take this as like sneaky energy, but I have to say that in this reading that I'm getting, and also just in general, I feel like only such a small amount of the time does this card actually refer to that, right? The original meaning of this card is actually a lot about hoping and wishing and almost like a little bit of a victorious energy. But so that was just my little like rant on that, because for people familiar with tarot, I don't want them to get the wrong idea about the messages that I'm giving here. So what I'm saying is that to me, what I'm picking up from this, the downloads that I'm receiving are a few different things when you're talking about 10 of Pentacles and 7 of Swords. Kind of different energies, so I think some people might be confused how they relate. But anyway, so my point is here is that I feel like what the universe is saying, what Spirit is saying is a few things. One, the most major thing I'm getting from this is, what do you need to leave behind? in order to step forward into this new chapter. Because this whole thing about new chapters and prosperity and abundance and things finally starting to work out for you, finally starting to pay off, right? Like that was the biggest thing that I took away from the message for this week so far, is all of the things you've been working towards, all of the things that you've been hoping for and wishing for, and just like, oh my God, I'm like really, like my patience is being tested, my hope and my faith is being tested. Listen, universe is saying, hold on a little longer, because all those things that you're hoping for, all of this huge payoff for your patience and for your diligence, for your hard work and your faith and belief that everything is going to work out exactly as it needs to, is right around the corner. They're like, it's here. You are stepping into this new chapter that you've been feeling form. You know, I feel like there's been a little bit of anxious energy in the air, because it's almost like we feel these changes coming. A lot of us are already experiencing these huge changes in our lives. And if you're not yet, this is sort of a heads up that this wave of change might be hitting you soon. And so there's a little bit of anxious energy around. But I have to say, this week, I'm getting that sort of going to fall into the back burner, because what is replacing it is excited energy. This energy of finally receiving all of the things we've been hoping for, asking for, wishing for. The universe is ready to bless us with so much more than I truly think we've expected. And the astrology of April really does completely match up with that. So I have to just say, like, it's really, really spot on. And so that's why I was excited about this Ten of Pentacles energy. And so what goes along with that, though, right? Like what goes along with the new chapter is closing and ending an old one. And so when I see the Seven of Swords and I see this character who's carrying away these 5 swords and leaving these 2 behind, sort of tiptoeing away, that was like the first thing I got, is like, what are you going to have to leave behind to step into this new chapter? Change is not always easy. Change, like I said last week, can sometimes bring up a lot of healing that we need to do. Healing about things that we thought we had already healed more than maybe we did, or things that need more attention. Healing things that, you know, like I said, we thought maybe we had a better handle on it, or like, you know, healing is not linear. So maybe you were feeling better about something and then it comes back up and, you know, you're not quite in the same mindset. And so it might be a little bit more difficult for you to handle than usual. A lot of these changes can bring up insecurities that we're finally ready to face. And so much of that insecurity is just believing in ourselves, right? Believing that we're capable of the things that we want to achieve in this life. Believing that we are worthy and deserving of the good with no catch. So many of us, myself included, are healing this huge thing about not waiting for the other shoe to drop. Right? Sometimes there just isn't another shoe. But if you've had a difficult life and you've faced trauma and you've faced hardships, it's really hard to remember that. And so your brain kind of gets stuck in this cycle of like, oh, wow, okay, great things are happening to me. Well, what's the bad thing that's going to happen? And I'm here to tell you that that is an old mindset that no longer serves us, and we are ditching it. We are throwing it away. We don't need that anymore. Maybe that mindset served us at a previous time where we were more in survival mode and felt like we had to kind of like protect ourselves, right? So a huge way to protect yourself is to sort of always be a little bit on alert as to like, oh gosh, what's the other thing? This energy is different. This energy in 2022, especially April astrologically is a beautiful, stunning month, right? Right up into the end where we have some like different energy coming in, and we have eclipses coming, and we also have some retrogrades at the end of the month. So everything up until like the very end of April is like no planets in retrograde. The energy is like full speed ahead. And that's why so many of these changes are going to be unfolding way more rapidly than expected. So this is sort of like your heads up about that. So when we have all these changes, right, we're dealing with these insecurities. We're sort of digging through and working through the mental aspect of receiving. And so this is your heads up of like, what do you got to leave behind? Do you have to leave behind old mindsets, self-limiting beliefs, right? Like telling yourself you're not capable of certain things, or maybe you aren't worthy of receiving something? What are your self-limiting beliefs, right? Like check in on those. Make sure that those things that you're telling yourself are positive and good and gonna put you in a good place to be receiving right now, because that is sort of like the key, right? Like knowing you're worthy. And I'm telling you that you are, just as you are now. There's nothing you need to do to become worthy. You are already inherently worthy. You just need to see it. Have a renewed sense of your value, right? You are a unique individual. There is no person in the universe that is exactly like you. And that is like our biggest gift. That is our biggest superpower, is that we're all uniquely us. And so everyone has something unique to offer the world. So make sure you're tapping into what that is, because right now, like the message I'm receiving is that's opening you up to this 10 of Pentacles energy. Like I said, 10 of Pentacles typically refers to legacy. So much abundance, long-term and commitment, right? So it's like, what is it within you do you have to offer this world? That's that passion, right? Bringing in that Ace of Wands passion from last week is really and this unique ability and whatever this is that you have to share with the world is going to lead you to the place where you are going to be in this 10 of Pentacles energy. You are going to be abundant. You are going to create a legacy for the long term, for the long haul, not any sort of prosperity that's going to be disappearing quickly, but prosperity and money and success that's here to stay. And in the 10 of Pentacles, if you're not familiar with this card, we do have some children and some like puppies, and it's like this very, in a way, like lighthearted energy, but we also have people interacting on this card. And so that's a reminder too, like whatever this unique thing you have to offer could have to do with like collaborating with other people, working with other people, sharing your ideas, your experiences, or maybe this thing that you have within you is going to help other people. And so 10 of Pentacles makes me also think of community, right? It makes me think of how we can come together for the greater good and prosper together, right? Because community is such a huge part of the spiritual journey that I don't quite think is spoken about enough. And to find your people, to find the people that get you and like love you for truly who you are, you have to be your real self. You have to take off those masks that you're hiding behind. And I'm not saying that's easy to do. We live in a society that kind of encourages you to wear a mask, right? But I'm telling you, if you can be brave enough, courageous enough, authentic enough to take off those masks and be your true self, that's where you're going to find legacy. That's where you find abundance. That's where you find people who are truly going to be there for you, to support you, like-minded individuals, or individuals that love you for who you are, who have some different views, you know? And so, I don't know, that's all the stuff that's coming up for me right now. And so when we head back to the 7 of Swords energy, a lot of what we need to leave behind in order to be receiving this abundance and blessings and like green lights from the universe, like that's what they're showing me now, is like green lights, like full speed ahead, everything that you want, work towards it in these next few weeks, but also be open enough to flow with the universe, to allow the universe to deliver things to you that you want in maybe unexpected ways. When you are dreaming up your, fantasy life that is like your most perfect, like, wow, I would be so happy if I had that, like that life, do not worry about the how. Do not worry about how you're going to get there. Just focus on what you want, and the universe is going to provide expected and unexpected ways for you to get there. Don't get caught up in the details, because that's kind of how your manifestations can like fall off the train tracks, is if you're too focused on the how. Don't worry about that. The universe is going to provide that for you, especially with this incredible, incredible full speed ahead astrology for April. And like I was saying, keep getting sidetracked. There's so many messages coming to me, so that's why I'm a little all over the place. I apologize for that. But I just like didn't quite have time to sit and write everything down first. Okay, so like I said, most of what we're leaving behind in order to step through this new chapter fully and completely is the mental. That's what I'm getting, and the Swords also too does talk about like mental, like what we're thinking about and everything. So that makes sense. Leaving behind self-limiting beliefs, just to recap. Leaving behind self-sabotaging tendencies, okay? Ooh, that is a big one. If you are used to getting in your own way, check in on yourself about that. And I'm telling you, the reason you're probably doing that is because you haven't quite found that part of you that feels fully worthy. So you kind of have to like derail something before it gets derailed for you, because you kind of expect it to get derailed. You know what I'm saying? So we're releasing self-limiting beliefs. We are releasing self-sabotaging tendencies. We're releasing this almost like a compulsion I'm getting in my head right now to overthink. That is out the window. And I'm saying this healing I'm talking about, getting rid of these things, is not linear. So you may do really well with ridding yourself of those things right now. I don't want you beating yourself up if you end up in a loop where you're kind of doing it again. The strength comes within recognizing that you're doing it again consciously, right? Once you know you're consciously doing something that no longer serves you, that's how you remain accountable for it. And that's how you truly create change within you and within your mind in the way that your brain truly thinks about it. Now that you know what you're doing, when you fall back into that, you're like, oh, I'm doing it again. I'm consciously sitting here and recognizing that I'm doing it. So I'm going to consciously choose to reframe these thoughts into the positive, into the wonderful things. If you're, like I said, if you're going to overthink, then go down the path of overthinking all the amazing, beautiful things that are going to happen to you. Journaling is a fantastic way to get all of that out. You kind of like leave everything in there, and then you're not like thinking about it. So it's like, if you have fears and worries, write those things down somewhere, and then you leave it there. It's not bouncing around in your head. Again, this is where like moving your physical energy, I feel like so much of my anxiety for me personally is like held in my body. So working out, dancing, like all those things, like going for a walk, yoga, anything like that, where I'm physically moving the energy and my body allows me to sort of like, I don't know, like I said, like physically move the energy out, and then I'm not feeling those feelings anymore. So make sure that you're giving yourself really good coping skills and positive outlets for these things. That way you can truly release it. And like I said, this isn't going to happen overnight, but now you know, like, oh, I'm falling back into that pattern. Let's do something about it, instead of allowing yourself to be swept away into those mindsets that aren't going to serve you, you know? And I want to make sure that's clear. I don't want anyone, I feel like there's so many people out there that are like, don't think negatively. Don't let yourself go. No, like, listen, we're human, okay? It's going to happen. Anxious thoughts are going to pop up. The fears and the worries are going to pop up. Don't beat yourself up about that. Do not ignore those feelings, because I guarantee you they will come back at a later time as a tsunami. So instead, allow them to flow through you like waves, smaller waves, because we're not bottling anything up. Use some of those really good outlets to get it out, and then you move forward. Like the analogy I used last week about feeling your feelings like a mist, right? Allow the mist to hit you, flow through you, and then you're done with it, right? But I don't want anyone bottling things up or like being hard on themselves about thinking negatively and falling back into old patterns. Healing is not linear. Growth is not linear. You're going to have your good days. You're going to have your not so good days. And when you just own the fact that every day doesn't have to be a good day, I swear there's like so much release in that. So just own it and move forward, knowing that every day you wake up is an opportunity to possibly have a better day. So when I see this whole, like, what are we leaving behind? That's mostly what I'm getting from it. However, there are also other things that we may be leaving behind. This could be certain jobs, certain like social circles that don't serve you anymore. Like I'm getting in my head now, like frenemy situations, right? If you really want to, and you're in a place to, listen, don't take any financial advice from me, okay? I'm just talking about the energy for me. I don't want to be responsible for anyone's decisions. But if you're like really feeling ready to commit to this new path, maybe you have to close the door on the other job, or, not accept a certain opportunity so you can go full speed ahead in the direction you want. Maybe you have to leave a certain, people behind. Like, not everybody can come with you on this journey. That is like one of the most, I don't want to say heartbreaking, but it really can be sometimes. Like certain people in your life that just aren't, everyone has their own path, right? So like the growth that you're experiencing right now is not the path for everybody. And you have to respect that. While you can help people and sort of give them a heads up as to like the life they could live and how they could, make their lives better, everyone's decisions are up to them. So you can still love them. you can still support them. You can still be there for them. But are they maybe going to be as close to you on this journey that you're going on? Maybe not. And that is okay. It's okay. And there are, again, other people out there I hear saying like, cut people off and just whatever. No, that's insane. Like, you can still have these people in your life, but maybe just not in the same capacity, right? So maybe there are situations, places, people, other things you need to sort of leave behind right now in order to step into this new chapter. And I want to remind you that when you lead with love, compassion, and kindness, you can do this in a way that does not hurt people's feelings. You can do this in a way that is respectful, and it doesn't have to be this whole, well, I'm on my growth journey. I'm on my spiritual journey. So like, if you're not, goodbye. Like, no, that's not fair. Everyone's path is different in this lifetime. It's not in everybody's story for this lifetime for them to experience this growth, right? Like, they're on their own cycle of whatever it is that they're going through. So I want to make that clear too. We don't have to just be like cutthroat, like we can ease into these transitions. And I think that's another point I want to make is like, these transitions don't have to be so, while I'm telling you the energy I'm feeling is some of them are going to be bold and big and just like, bam, out of nowhere. Some of these other transitions are going to be more subtle, are going to be more like graceful. And that would be something I'd pray for the universe, right? Or pray to the universe for is what I meant to say, is like, pray for graceful transitions, for easy, soft, flowing transitions. That way it's a little bit easier for you to like digest all the change that's going on in your life. So I know that's this part of this message is like, not super easy for everybody to hear, because while I don't want you to be like expecting the other shoe to drop and like, oh God, all these good things are happening. Like, well, what's the bad thing? There may not be a bad thing, but it may be that you have to leave behind old versions of yourself. That's like huge, right? Old versions of yourself that has these mindsets, these circles and people and things and whatever that like wasn't quite right for them, right? Like, you're going to have to leave some of that behind. So instead of anticipating something bad happening to balance out the good, you should be looking inward to say, it's spring, right? Like, do a little spring cleaning in your life. Do a little spring cleaning. Physically, right? Like, what stuff are you going to get rid of? I find that such a easy, amazing way to raise the energy in your home is just like getting rid of shit that you don't need, or that like people you don't even like gave to you. I know that sounds like harsh, but it's like you're just holding on to energy from people that don't need to be in your energetic area, right? Or like holding on to things that like from people, like maybe you like took something or inherited something, whatever, and it's got all that energy on it. All right. So make sure you're like cleansing, right? This is like a good time to be physically cleansing your space, donating things that you do not want in your like physical area anymore, spring cleaning on like every part of your life, right? So it's sort of like, I think the universe is sort of making us do that in a way. I don't know if you feel like that too. I kind of feel like that. But also make sure that you're aware of it. So it's like all that energy you're focusing on, oh God, what's going to happen? That's bad. Everything's too good. No. Take that energy and focus it on how you can better prepare for these changes, and also what needs to change, right? Because the universe can only do so much for you. You have to be ready to step through that door. You have to trust. You have to. And I know that's like not easy stuff. I'm just telling us like what we need to be prepared for and what's on the horizon. I fully trust me. I fully recognize not all of this is really easy to do. And that's why you need to make sure that you're using your mental and emotional energy in ways that are going to serve you, because we need every bit of it right now for these changes. So that is the main message. I'm super excited. Like I always just want to reiterate, change is not easy, but I do believe it's beautiful if you feel it's right for you. It is always worth it if you feel it's right for you, because the little things that seem like obstacles are going to get figured out. You're going to overcome them because you have overcome every other obstacle that you've faced, right? So what makes these things any different? And the last thing that I want to say for this part of the message is another thing that they showed me while I'm talking right now is it's like literally the imagery of I'm laughing because it's like, I swear sometimes they show me like the most cliche things and it's just funny to me. It is like I see a fish, okay, that literally jumping out of a little tiny pond into like a big ocean, right? And so what I got from that, obviously, is it's funny because when I pulled the Ten of Pentacles, I saw it then, and then now they're kind of showing me again because I think I forgot, is like, this is the time to not play small. I feel like so many of us are stepping into our power, but it's like, this is the push. This week, I'm feeling this energy. And like I said, the energy expands beyond the week. I just check in weekly to kind of see where we are. So for me, truly, I feel like this is like April energy. I feel like we are continuing to step into our power. We're continuing to kind of like really, truly, on a deeper level, see our value, see what we're really actually capable of when we believe in ourselves and we believe that the universe is going to support us on this journey. And so if you're still playing small, if you're still dimming your light, if you are still not, let's say, playing to full capacity, in order to fit into the same life that you're living or not make other people uncomfortable around you, or maybe you're still a little bit shy about like receiving the spotlight or the like congratulations for being so great, you know, like do not let that hinder your progress. This is the time, this April energy is like us moving into the next chapter where it's like, ooh, okay, we have to make this leap to going into the ocean. We've been a big fish in a small pond and we didn't start out that way. We started out like a little tiny baby fish, right? And we realized we're this like beautiful creature, and there's some comfort in that sometimes, like where that complacency and that comfort can kind of be where you're kind of like, it's kind of like, I don't know if everyone's going to relate to this. It's kind of like when you're in school and you're finally like the oldest grade in that school and you're like, oh, okay, I have this like newfound confidence. Like there's no older kids. It's me. Like we are the older kids, right? And then it's that fresh feeling when it flips again and now you go to a new school. It's like you go to high school and you're the youngest again. It's like that. Or like when you're a senior in high school and then you go to college and you're a freshman and you're like, oh shit, okay, this is so different. This is sort of the vibe I'm getting, right? There's some sort of comfort in being the big fish in a small pond. But listen, the magic happens outside of your comfort zone, and think about how much more growing you could do in a bigger environment, in your ocean, right? So we are leaping beautifully into our oceans this month. I really feel it. I know I sound a little like maybe a little crazy, but I really just do have that feeling. It's just like this blooming, this blossoming, and it's all happening right on time. So if you've been sort of waiting for these big breaks to happen, the next few months I feel like is truly going to be so telling, and you're going to be sitting there saying, wow, look how far I've come. And I guess that's like a good thing to do now before we take this next leap, is to maybe reevaluate. Maybe that's going to help you feel more confident jumping into this ocean, is thinking, where were you last year this time? The year before that at this time? Where were you 5 years ago, right? Think about the growth you've experienced. Think about how much different your life probably is than you thought it was going to be. And be proud of yourself for making it through hell, all right? Like you did it. And this is finally the time the universe is saying to have a little bit of fun, to know that the good is going to happen, and to just like play, you know, just have some time to play. It doesn't all have to be work. And as a Capricorn saying that, just know like it means more coming from me. Okay, so thanks for listening to that. That was kind of a long message, but it just like so much really needed to be said. I am quickly going to get into our mini messages from the universe for the signs, and let's just jump into it. Okay. Oh, Aries, this is like this is great. Aries, these are for sun, moon, and rising, by the way. So if you feel inclined, you can listen to all of those for you. Go based off your intuition. Aries, your message is don't stop. A miracle is around the corner. This is your season too. So this is like so perfect, so spot on with everything I've been saying. I'm excited for you, Aries. Like feel fired up, Feel it. Feel your time. It's here. And just like really use this energy to your advantage, because you don't want to take for granted or waste any of this like forward momentum in your life. So just like go for it. I'm excited for you. Taurus, patience, a long road ahead, but reward awaits you. This is exactly what we were talking about. So Taurus, tap into that incredible patience that you have. You know that at the end of the day, everything is going to work out exactly as it needs to. You are going to find the success that you're seeking in whatever area of your life. Just be a little bit more patient. This is like the universe saying, like, hold on just a little bit longer, because they don't want you to lose faith and hope and turn your back now. You've come so far. Keep going, because it's going to happen. Gemini, you got dream, build castles in the sky. This is like what I was talking about earlier. Make sure you're checking in on what is it that you want? What do you want your life to look like on a day-to-day, right? Like it's easy for us to think about the job we want, or maybe what kind of house we want, or where we want to live and who we want to be with and all that. But think about what you want your daily routine to look like. What kind of freedoms do you want? What kind of larger things do you want to experience? And then build what you're going after around that. Like make sure you're going after the things that are going to actually make you happy, not just the titles and the things that you think you want, right? Awesome. Cancer, heart, emotions, and intuition. So Cancer, this is your time to tap into your heart space. We actually have, I believe, don't take my word for like full, because again, like I just know about astrology because I'm obsessed with it for my own life. I believe we do have Venus moving into Pisces. Is that the transit? I don't know. Someone comment below if I'm wrong. So this week, I was reading about it, is going to be a little bit of a heartfelt, emotional kind of week where we let our feelings lead. So Cancer, one, you're incredible at that. Your intuition, also incredible. So make sure that while you're working towards all these things that you want and you're sort of like going forward on this journey, that you don't forget your beautiful heart. You don't forget this incredible intuition that you've been gifted with. And maybe right now you got to like that spring cleaning I was talking about. Look inwards towards your heart for that. What is going on in your heart that maybe you've been ignoring or you haven't been paying attention to? And when making decisions, moving forward, this is a sign too. It says use your heart and intuition. Make these decisions based on more intuition than maybe how it looks on paper, because you always know best. Your higher self, your intuition is always like your most true compass. Leo. Oh, love. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was talking about. Leo, okay. Like I said, the transits we have going on this week are going to be bringing in this high vibe love energy. So make sure you're making more room in your life for love. Maybe you've been working a little bit too hard, not playing hard enough. So what can you do this week to bring a little bit more of that love energy in your life? Who can you spend some time with? Perhaps this is like, I don't know, I'm just getting it. Don't take this, with your intuition. The message is for who it's for. It's not for everybody, but maybe this means like a little bit of new love is coming into your life. That's just what I'm getting. So make sure you're open to receive, and letting go of some of those old mental states and limiting beliefs like we talked about a little while ago could be exactly what you need to let that love in. Virgo, action. Awaken the warrior within. I love that. So Virgo, like I said, the next few weeks, astrology-wise, and as obviously with this energetic forecast I just did, this is the perfect time to move ahead. So if you have been sitting on any ideas, any projects, like go for it. Just go for it, Virgo. Stop being in your head. Like we said, tackle those limiting beliefs that you have there and start making real actual movement. Like you can plan your little heart out, but if you don't just get up and do it, it's not going to happen. So this is like your call to action, literally this week. I am excited for you. It's the perfect time. Seriously, divine right time. Libra. Ooh, I love this card. So it has a big crystal ball on it and it says guidance. You are divinely guided. Wow, Libra. This is a huge symbol from the universe that whatever changes you're experiencing, whatever you're going through, know you're divinely guided. When I say that, I mean your ancestors, your spirit guides, the universe itself is, whether or not you know about these forces in your life, there are larger forces at play that are bringing in these changes, that are bringing in these blessings, that are sort of awakening something within you. I pictured a fire in my heart. It's like there's a fire within your heart awakening that is sort of like redirecting you, I feel like, and they want you to know you are divinely guided. So this is your sign. If you've been looking for it, trust in your gut, trust in your intuition, trust in where you feel like you're being pulled right now, because it's divinely guided. Like, you are meant to be doing everything that you're doing. So that's a huge blessing. And if you've been a little bit unsure about these changes, this really is going to hopefully give you some huge peace of mind about that. Wow, that's awesome. Scorpio, caution, keep your guard up. Okay, Scorpio, boundaries is the first thing I thought of when I pulled this. Okay, it's coming to me now. On this card, we have a huge spider, and I love spider symbolism. While, a little scary in real life, I love spiritual symbolism because it's all about being the creator of your reality, being the weaver of your reality. So when I'm looking at this card now, what I'm getting is, maybe not everybody needs to know what your next steps are. I hate to be like that, but it's true. Like, I'm not trying to say like people are, not wishing the best for you and all that. Like, no, I'm not trying to tap into that. What I'm saying is maybe keep these like choices, these decisions you're making, these changes you want to bring about, this new chapter, maybe keep it a little bit like close to the vest right now, right? Like, people are going through hard times, and maybe if you're looking too much for external guidance, right? Like talking to people and running things by people. Not everybody's in the best mindset right now. Maybe they're operating out of their old fears and their own things that they don't believe they can do. And you don't want to be getting the wrong advice from someone that keeps you playing small. So Scorpio, make sure that you're using your own intuition, your own inner compass, your own gut feelings to know what's right for you. Do not go based off of anybody validating what you're doing. Go for it and keep things to yourself. That way you don't have too many opinions in your ear, because you know what's right for you. Sagittarius, you are safe. The universe has your back. Wow. Similar to Libra's message. This is incredible. Sagittarius, and I had a feeling last week too, the cards I've been pulling for Sag have been a little tough lately. So this is this reminder for you, Sagittarius. All of the stuff that's getting shaken up in your life, all of the stuff that feels like, what is going on? Like, is everything falling apart? No. It is a new beginning being created. And like I said, things have to break apart and everything to build a new foundation. This is your reminder of that. The universe has your back. They need you to trust. Trust that all is going according to plan. Trust that all is going to be delivered in divine right timing. Trust that you are going to receive the best, and it is on its way to you. You are safe. You are not getting shaken up for no reason. It's to bring in these higher blessings. I just feel it. Capricorn, set intentions, plant the seeds, and watch them grow. Wow. Okay, Capricorn. So how we talked about, like, literally, this is the energetic message for the week. We were talking about making sure that the things you're working towards are the things that you really want, right? So this is that symbol. It's like, plant the seeds, right? Make sure the seeds that you're planting are the seeds you really, really, really do want, because they are going to grow. You are going to watch them grow. And it's the universe saying, hey, we're going to deliver you what you want. So get clear on what exactly that is. And it's on its way to you. That's just how I'm feeling about that. I love that. Aquarius, let go, relax, and release. Oh, Aquarius, this is so about surrendering. That's like the message I'm getting right now. Surrender. Like I said, if there was ever a time to trust the universe, right, to trust in this fabulous astrology we have going on, it's now. It's these next few weeks. Let go. Remember how I was talking about not holding on to the how, just looking at the what you want and knowing and believing you're going to get there and you're going to receive? Tap into that energy. Let go of how you expect things to go down, what the details are going to be. You're thinking, oh God, well, how am I going to get from A to B to Z? No, just, you're getting to Z. Do not worry about the in-between. Let go and surrender, because the universe is ready to give you everything that you've been asking for. You just have to trust. You have to let go. Get out of those old mindsets we were talking about That's like the best way to surrender, is to just like feel those feelings, get them out through journaling, physical activity, whatever it's going to be, talking to a friend, and then just move on knowing that you are supported by the universe. And our lovely Pisces, let's see what you got. Peace, harmony, and contentment. Wow. So Pisces, I think that part of what is coming your way for this next chapter is this happiness you've been hoping for, this peace you've been hoping for. Like we were talking about the 10 of Pentacles. It's like everything we've been wanting to come in for us. We're like, oh, when is it going to be here? Pisces, it's happening. This true happiness that you have been hoping and wishing and praying for, it is being delivered. You are finally going to be content. There's a beautiful white dove flying over a full moon on this card, and it's just giving me this like blissful energy. Like this next chapter for you is really going to be, you're going to feel like you're flying high. I mean, you're going to feel like, wow, is this real? Sort of like an aerial view of your life, and just being like, I'm so grateful. So I love that for you. So thank you everyone for listening. Like this video. If anything I talked about resonated, feel free to comment down below. And yeah, I'm so excited to chat with you again next week. I know this was a long one, but listen, the message is the message, right? So I hope you got something great out of it, and I will see ya next week. Bye, everyone.